My name's Jason Waite. I'm a curator and writer and affiliated fellow at the panel on planetary thinking at Eustace Liebig University. I'm also part of the collective Don't Follow the Wind that's working on a long-term project in the Fukushima exclusion zone. The Gwangju Biennale has been extremely impactful on my practice as a curator and also thinking about how large-scale exhibitions can impact society. My first experience at the Gwangju Biennale was during the Global Institute, a transnational experiment in education that was organized by the 7th director of the biennial, Okwin Wazor. This educational experiment brought together curators and young thinkers from around the world to think with the directors of the biennial of how Asia in the 21st century was becoming an important cultural hub, not only for the region but for the world. This experiment unfolded over 2 weeks, 1 week in Gwangju and 1 week in Seoul. And it really challenged us to think how exhibitions can work with such important social histories like the Gwangju Uprising. And the experiment in transnational education furthered my knowledge not only of artists and practitioners working in Korea, but it really opened a window to the diversity of practices happening across East Asia at the time. Gwangju Biennale has been really unique in terms of putting together 3 distinct aspects of the organization. The first being curatorial excellence and experimentation. How can Gwangju continue to be a site for curators and curatorial thinking, and how that can evolve as we move further into the 21st century? The second important aspect of Gwangju Biennale has been the long educational component. Gwangju Biennale started the curatorial course, of which I was a part of under the directorship of Maria Lind. The Gwangju curatorial course has really trained the next generation of curators in Korea, in Asia, and at the world at large. And this has been a really important meeting point for young practitioners to bring together their local scenes and bring together a diverse set of ideas, to experiment with them not only in the academia, not only in the university, but rather in the exhibition space. And it's something about thinking together through the process of creating an exhibition and being in an exhibition space that's an extremely unique experience. Thirdly, the Gwangju Biennale has always had a really focus on research. What I mean by research is that, as Okwin Wazor called a biennial, it's a survey of ideas. And Gwangju Biennale has been a site that has both proposed new ideas as well as disseminated those ideas, and also contested ideas of how we think about the relationship between art and society. Moving forward, it's important to understand and respect this vision that Gwangju Biennale has always worked with, one that focuses on curatorial excellence, education, and on research. And by sticking to these very unique aspects, continue to be one of the most important biennials in the world. Gwangju Biennale has had a long trajectory of curatorial excellence, and the 14th edition of the biennial that happened most recently, directed by Suk-Kyung Lee, was no different. Suk-Kyung took the biennial in a very different direction, thinking about how an exhibition could be sustainable, meaning not only thinking about how artists are working through ideas of our relationship between humans and nature, but also thinking how the structures of a biennial can reduce its impact on its surrounding environment. This was achieved in a number of innovative ways. First of all, there was a reduction of material that was used in making of the exhibition space, and the exhibition was always seen as not a permanent form which would then disappear, but rather as an iteration which would take on a new life. Its materials could have a new use and a new purpose after the biennial closed. And this was extremely innovative and the first time that a biennial had had such an environmental focus. And I think this underscores how the Gwangju Biennial, still now at the 21st century, is one of the most important large-scale exhibitions in the world.